by Benning. Darnell Nurse left it in the corner. It's center. Perry scores! Corey Perry!
Ilya able to shake away from Solani. It's given away to Solani around in front. Score! Teemu Solani with the steal.
Perry in the face, 1-1. Score! Off the floor! On the board! Paul Kariya!
Hey everybody, internet's finally working.
Yay!
And, all three of us are here, which is nice. It's been quite some time. I feel like we haven't done a show in like 2 months, but I think it's been more recent than that, guys.
Yeah, no,
Early August.
it's been a while.
So it's been like a month and a half.
Yeah, yeah. Like we started to, but Ed let us down again.
It's always the Canadian something or other, man. They can't get their stuff together, man. I don't get it.
The last one was perfect, except I chose Bell over Rogers, and their internet was horrible. So
I like how you went from 8 megs to 200 megs. Like, it's how does one company like, yeah, we can't help you. The other company's like, we got you, dude.
Yeah, we got you, and then we really got you. That's amazing.
So everyone needs to chip in and pay Ed's cancellation fee for his internet because I'm sure he gets signed a contract.
It's free.
Oh, it's free?
Yep.
Oh, nice.
Usually they lock you into some sort of contract,
I know.
right? Where,
I thought it was going to be locked in, but I don't have to pay anything.
Oh, that's very nice.
Sweet.
Such nice people in Canada. They're like, oh, no, you don't need any cancellation fee. It's fine.
Oh, sorry about that. Yeah.
Well, we have a lot to cover. We had the rookie face-off last week. Training camp, which I'm not happy about, started this weekend, but I'm kind of pissed because for whatever reason it's closed to the public. I haven't seen the reason why. I wasn't on Twitter much yesterday. So that's the most recent news. Plus, we've got all the trade rumors, updates on players, and just some banter. We haven't had a chance to talk to you guys in quite some time. So let's get started with let's just go with the rookie face-off because I want to talk about 5 Points Arena a bit too.
Yeah, I missed the first game, which sucked. Well, let's talk about first the way the Ducks let you watch these games. I can't remember what team it was, but I think it was Detroit. Streams the game on YouTube so everybody can watch it. Like, it doesn't matter where you are, where you're from, you can watch the game. And then the Ducks announced that they're going to stream the game, but again, they just limit it to the local market, so you can't watch the game. So I missed the first game. I had to download a VPN to watch the second game. This VPN, I'm not going to mention it, but it cost $2.90. Said it cost $2.99 a month, right, to get this VPN.
A Canadian?
Then they charge for 3 years. They charged me the full amount for 3 years, so I had to call them. I had to call them, and I had to get a refund for it because they charged me like $180 up front. So then I missed the third game too. I was working anyway, but I missed the third game. But then the Ducks have it so you can watch them again after. So I watched both of them, but I only really fully caught the second game live.
Still don't understand why they don't want to expand the viewing for people who may just not happen to live in Southern California. They still buy your stuff. They still root for your team. Let people see it.
I don't get it. I don't get it at all. That's so shitty. I don't understand how other teams are like, yeah, let's put it. I didn't know they put it on YouTube. That's Detroit.
Yeah, I think
Detroit
it was Detroit.
does it on YouTube.
If somebody did, I'm pretty sure it was Detroit. But one of the teams did it on YouTube. It was just free. Just watch it. Which, I mean, the Ducks could do if they're supporting a streaming platform. They're streaming the game. Just put it out to everybody. Just put it on YouTube or put it somewhere where we can all watch it. They have, like, the Ducks Gaming Twitch channel. Just put it on there. Then everybody can watch it. You get everybody involved in it. I don't know if they have a deal or something or what's the point of having it. Like, that whole entire face-off tournament. Like, if you wanted to watch the Colorado game, Colorado versus Vegas, you had to be in one of those two markets as well. So it wasn't just the Ducks; it was everybody involved in that tournament.
What's crazy too is the arena's amazing. You figured they would want to show it off to everybody. They did a great job. That the ice facility is incredible. That if you guys come out this year, you and the fam, we got to go by there and check it out and skate around that area because it's nice, man. It's state of the art. It's great, but there was problems in the arena too. I mean, Jason and I, we could tell you all day about how awesome the service was.
No, I mean, we couldn't, not only could we not get drinks or get food, I asked for my food twice. They didn't bring it. I canceled it, and then they brought it 30 minutes after I canceled the food. Like it was like an hour gone by. I'm like, no, this is just take it back. I'm done. And then we couldn't get anyone to give us their bill. Eventually, we just had to slap money down and go, I hope this covers it. I think it does. And that was it. That's all we
And
could
who
do.
knows if they got it? I would have
Yeah.
some random guy's like, oh, sweet, $40.
Just like could not get anyone. I had to I was waving my card. No one came to bother me. I was at the bar. It was like I wasn't hiding in a corner somewhere. It was odd. They got to get that fixed.
The thing, yeah, great people. Everyone's very, very nice. It just seemed like it was like first day at work for 50 people. It was
Which it kind of pretty much is, right?
Yeah, and it's like the busiest thing they've done there. That was incredibly busy. So I'm not trying to completely say it's awful, but it was like, wow, man, like this is
they
not
had good beers.
Smooth running ship. Very good beers.
Yeah.
Food wasn't bad.
Really nice arena too. Like I just saw from the outside clips that they showed, it looks really nice, and inside too.
Yeah.
So rookie face-off. What was the big standouts to you, Ed? The games that you saw. I had to unfortunately leave for some family events on Saturday and couldn't make it back out Sunday. But Jason, you caught some of the game, and I know Ed, you watched. I mean, most of the Kings Ducks game is the one I was interested in. And I read a lot about, but like, who popped out to you guys?
From the guys who you kind of expect, right? Like the guys who could make the team or the guys who've been there before. I think surprisingly enough, like Troy Terry was pretty good. Sam Steele had his moments. Like Comtois was decent. Lindstrom just kind of looked like his normal self, where he's just doesn't do anything great, but he's just good. But Kiefer Sherwood was great in probably all three games, but really games 1 and 2, he was excellent in both those games. He didn't have a bad game in game 3 either. But he was better than all of them, which was a little bit surprising. I think he is kind of older than most of them, but he is the guy that maybe you wouldn't expect to be doing better than Troy Terry or Sam Steele. And, maybe it's because he has more to prove, right? He has to kind of stand out a bit more than those guys to make the team. Not to say Terry and Steele are locks, but they kind of are the closest thing you can get right now to being a lock on this team. And Kiefer Sherwood has something to prove, and he sure proved it. I hope it results in a roster spot for him, but he was very, very impressive.
Yeah, he had a lot of tenacity in the game against LA. I mean, he was just flying all over the place, just hounding the puck, hounding players. It didn't seem like any shift he took, there was any sort of lull in his game. So, if he's fighting for more of that fourth, maybe third line role, you kind of need those guys to have that energy and never take a shift off when they have it. So, he did. He stood out to me just all over the place. First one to everywhere, it seemed like.
Did it pop out to you guys at all that Max Jones was one of only 2 of the rookies who played in all 3 games? So maybe they're giving him a longer look?
I think so. Who was the other guy?
Oh, I thought it was Comtois. No,
Comtois,
Terry?
Yeah, Comtois.
Okay. That kind of makes sense because, again, you look at Steele, Terry, Jones, Comtois. If you had to pick 2 out of those, I think Steele's the easiest lock because of
center depth
the Ducks have. And then I think Troy Terry is probably, the fact that on right wing it's really just Silfverberg and Kase. Troy Terry kind of slots in nicely there. But on the left, there's so much room for the Ducks to kind of work around. There's a lot of guys in the way when you look at Richie and Raquel and Devon Shore, Delorier, Grant, like all those guys. You might want to get a better look from Max Jones and Max and Comtois, especially if only one of them is going to make the roster, which probably only one of them will. It's good to get a longer look at both of them. And I guess I would say Max Jones looked better of the 2 of them, but they were pretty even.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I really feel like that they've got a spot for Jones on this team. I think that they could create a space for him on a team like that. And he's the type of power forward that I think that would thrive under this new system built with speed because he's got it. I think he and Comtois are probably the 2 that I would see making this team. If you want to look at the rookies as a whole, maybe like some outlier chances, I think those 2 are the closest.
Yeah, they're guys I want to see play for sure. I want to see how they kind of do under the new system and see if they can flourish, especially Max Jones. I don't think he was really given much of an opportunity under the other one, and he still did really well as far as the eye test and his how he was dynamic, even though the goal scoring wasn't quite there. So either one will benefit by still going down to San Diego and getting more time on top lines and still kind of getting that. There is a little bit of that log jam there. So it'll be interesting. I think those 2 are going to have to kind of fight it out, but you can't just have, 6 rookies out there all trying to make it work, or semi-rookies out there trying to make it work, and I don't think they're going to try and do that. They're better suited, instead of third and fourth line, to be a first or second line down in San Diego.
Ricky said Comtois didn't play all 3 games. It was Hunter Drew.
Hunter Drew, okay.
3 games.
I thought it was Comtois that played all 3. My bad.
No, but I think Comtois still played 2, and you need to get a little bit of a longer look, I think, at him because of the small sample size he had last year in the NHL, and the fact that out of most of these guys, he played at the lowest level, where he played at the QMJHL. So I think, if I had to pick a guy who should have played 3 games, it probably would have been Maxime Comtois, because I would want to get a longer look at him. But I think they had so many wingers at this tournament, especially a lot of guys that they're getting a first look at. Like Braden Tracy actually looked really good in the games that he was in, and he did score too, off of kind of a typical play that he's patented his play style around, where he kind of curled and dragged and beat I think it was Sawchenko who was in net for.
Well, yeah, he was able to change the angle on the bottom of the circle, right? The quick pull into the skates.
Yeah, and that's something he's not the fastest guy, but he has this kind of deceptive speed where he doesn't look like a fast guy, and he doesn't really skate fast all the time, but he can kind of kick it into another gear where he can use it to get by guys, and he did that on that play. And then kind of just took his time and then curled and dragged and got a better shooting angle and picked the top corner on Sawchenko. And, for a guy in his first tournament playing with a lot of older guys on the team and maybe pushed down a depth chart a bit, I think he did really well. He got a good opportunity in the game that I saw, and the game where he scored, he got put on the top line. So I want to see more from him. I'm going to watch a lot of him in the WHL this year, so I'm kind of impressed. And with the pick, that's the pick they got back in the Montour trade, right? So a lot of people are going to be looking at Braden Tracy and seeing what he could do.
I think that's going to be. I mean, everyone knows how good Zegras is going to be, or has the potential to be. Where there is some risk, but I think the Ducks could really, really win if Braden Tracy turns into being somebody that's like a 20-25 goal scorer in the league eventually, right? I mean, he's got the skill, I think, to be a sneaky good player.
He does. A little bit raw still, I think, and for some people they had him higher than where the Ducks took him, and some people had him in the second round because he didn't play. Like last year was his rookie season in the WHL because he decided to go back to I think it's AAA or whatever. He went back to the league below Major Junior for one extra season. So last year was his rookie year, so people are just seeing the beginning of him, and he played with 2 overagers last year in the WHL, so his stock was kind of all over the place a little bit. But I think he's kind of a diamond in the rough. I think he potentially could have been a top 15 pick in this draft, and the Ducks, this is kind of their typical guy they like to go after. A bigger guy, can kind of play good in both zones, and he's a very, very good shooter, which is something they need right now when you look at the fact that they couldn't score any goals last year, and Ondrej Kase was really the only consistent goal scorer they had. So, he's probably a couple years away, but if he pans out, that's a huge win for the Ducks in that Montour trade.
Let's move on to training camp. Why is it closed to the public? Does anybody know? Anybody listening know? I didn't see a reason. This is usually where I go at this time of year. I'm usually at the rink watching training camp. I'm really bummed.
New rules, right?
I guess. I heard someone comment like there's not enough netting like there is at Anaheim Ice at Gray Park to protect people. I'm like, they played games there, though. I don't know if that's really good. I was like, that makes no sense to me.
Yeah. I mean, that arena full of people walking around even. So at the rookie, so I don't know how it could be all that much different, with them just taking practice shots versus a full-on game. But I guess more pucks, more opportunities to get hit. I don't know.
Guess.
I was interested by the lines that they had at training camp because there's, I figured, like 20. I had the file up here that said how many forwards were there. They had 34 forwards. So there was some lines that you would normally see, I guess, during the regular season. They had Richie, Getzlaff, and Terry, Raquel, Steele, Silverberg, and Comtois, Henrique, and Kasha. And then somebody had put out, I didn't see it, but somebody had said that Delorier, Rowney, and Grant were together.
Ugh.
And those were the only 4 lines that we saw. But there's 34 forwards, so there was obviously a lot more lines that were run. There's a lot of rookies at this camp as well. Braden Tracy's there, Antoine Moran's there, Benoit Olivier Grew there. Those are guys we don't expect to make the team, but I'm sure there were lines there. I think the most interesting thing is we heard nothing about Jones, Shore, Sprong, or Sherwood being anywhere in that top line pair. And obviously, these lines might not be the same today, or if they're practicing today or the next time they have practice. There could be different lines, but interesting. Sherwood had a great rookie face-off like we talked about, and Jones was a guy to be competing for his spot. And Daniel Sprong is a guy a lot of people want to see more from. And they're kind of left in limbo. And same with Devin Shore, a guy you would expect to play. They're all kind of left in limbo right now.
No, Randy Carlisle is making these roster decisions and putting Nick Delorier on the fourth line.
Or Daryl Sutter, because he's there.
Daryl Sutter, yeah.
I couldn't let the negativity slip by me there, guys. I had to bring it up. It's been a while.
All right, it's back.
Why put a fast kid with good hands on the fourth line?
It's just starting out. They're just seeing where everyone's going to be.
Nick Delorier to begin with, man, it's very disappointing.
Yeah. Well, if you go with the Ducks injury history, I think you want to. Yeah, right. It's already over. Just give us our first overall draft pick.
Yeah, we just need that next one, whatever that is. Yeah.
I wouldn't put too much merit into these lines because they could easily change. But we saw them a bit last year. But what do you think of them? Like the first one with Ritchie, Getzlaf, and Terry. If they started opening night with that first line,
everything except Ritchie is good on that line.
I'm kind of over the fact of this is a top line, second line, third line. It's like, well, let's look at the minutes. Because I don't care who you start out on the ice. The guys who put the most minutes are the guys that are getting, the majority of the appraisal from the coaches. So, like, if Getzlaf, that line plays 16 minutes, but you have Raquel, Steele, and Silverberg in the season playing 20 minutes, that's really your top line. And so, that's what Eric Stevens kind of said yesterday. I think he retweeted Elliot Tieford and was like, let the drama begin. Or start the drama again, something along those lines, because it was like, Getzlaf playing with Ritchie and Terry instead of Raquel and Silverberg. It's like, hey, why not? Steele's got potential to be that second line center, and that's what we're hoping for. I don't mind it at all, and it's training camp. So
exactly. They're trying things out, seeing what works and what maybe doesn't, and say, hey, you know what? We haven't tried this before. Let's just see where it goes. And it could be like, all that looks all right. Really, I think Getzlaf and Raquel really complement each other really well. Let's put them together. So.
Yeah, Joseph said that Shore at one point, I think, was centering Ritchie and Sprong. So if that's true, then they were mixing up lines anyway. But those were just the three that we got put out. I really like Steele, Raquel, and Silverberg. I think that has a lot of potential to be probably the best line. It was for, I think, 60 minutes of last season. They didn't really play that much time together. But when they were together, it was really good. So it'd be interesting to see if they end up doing well. And I like Henrique, Kase, and Comtois too. I think that has some good potential. I believe were they not together at the beginning of the season when Comtois was there? Was that not?
Oh man,
you're going way back. I tried to forget all of that season.
But I mean, it has potential. You've got two shooters playing with Adam Henrique. I would honestly rather switch that and have Getzlaf playing with Kase and Comtois, and Ritchie and Terry playing with Adam Henrique. I think that has a little bit more potential, especially when you have a playmaker like Getzlaf being able to get the puck to Ondrej Kase and Maxime Comtois. I think that has a little bit more potential. Maybe we see that. Like I said, these are tentative lines. There's no way that these are all set in stone and this is what we're going to see on opening night. This might be what we see for the first preseason game if everybody's playing. But it's in no means it's going to be the way they start opening night yet.
Yeah, I mean, I was kind of thinking it was going to be Comtois, Henrique, and Justin Falk. I mean, I don't think Kase is going to be able to be playing here. I mean, they're just going to convert him to go forward.
There's a line in there.
Quick thing on training camp. The last thing, when you look at the guys that weren't, I guess, in those top three lines in Jones, Shore, Sprong, or Sherwood, do you see any of those guys maybe not making the team? Like, I think one of them obviously isn't, between Comtois, Jones, and Sherwood, and I guess Lindstrom as well. Some of those guys, 2 or 3 of them, are going to be sent down to San Diego. Would you be surprised to see Jones or Sherwood get sent back down?
I would be shocked if it was Sprong or Sherwood that got sent down. I think in that order. Sprong, I think, makes this team. Sherwood, I mean, he did go down to the AHL off and on. I don't think Jones is going to make the squad out of camp. I just, based on how much room's on the roster and kind of what they're looking at with seasoning and skill, I think they probably feel like he needs a little more.
Yeah, I'd like to see either one of Jones or Comtois make it. I feel like if they both have a good one, it's just who had a better one or who looked better might keep it there. But I can actually see both of them going to the minors too. I think Shear was a little bit more seasoned, and like I said, I think he really impressed in the rookie tournament. As long as he keeps that going, I think he kind of solidifies that 4th spot, and it's a little bit tougher to maybe put Sprong. I have a hard time thinking that with everything Sprong can do, that they would not want him on the roster. So they'd either healthy scratch him or try and send him to the minors, or however he has to go through waivers. I'm not sure. So, it gets a little tricky just with, hey, these are the contracts. This is the room we have. We're kind of logjam a little bit.
Yeah, I think Jones probably starts in San Diego. Honestly, I'd rather see Jones and Sherwood get in over Grant and Delorier, or even just Shore and Sherwood. We can go Shore, Rowney, and Sherwood, and then Jones gets a first line or second line minutes down in San Diego. Because I just don't see I don't see the reasoning in having Nick Delorier start over Devin Shore if that's going to be the case, or even Nick Delorier or Derek Grant starting over Kiefer Sherwood, especially the way Sherwood played in the rookie faceoff. And if he could continue that into preseason, then I don't see why he doesn't deserve a roster spot over those guys. Maybe he ends up winning a roster spot because of that. But there's not a lot of room, right? Richie, Getzlaff, Raquel, Silverberg, Steele, Henrique, Casually, those are all guys who booked a ticket into the top 6. You could maybe throw Troy Terry in there. So really the only room there is Maxime Comtois, who's going to fight for that third line left wing spot, and whether it could be Shore, Jones, or Comtois or Sherwood. That's 4 guys fighting for one spot, and then it all depends, like Jason said earlier, do you want one of those guys playing a fourth line minutes in the NHL or first line minutes in the AHL, and then who can you send down without having to deal with waivers? And Jones and Sherwood are those guys that you can send down.
Yeah, so I think they're there, and then as inevitable as it always is with the Ducks, someone will be injured at some point, and then you can bring those guys up and give them more of a chance on a higher up line and shuffle things around.
Yep, coaches like the idea that they know what they're getting out of players already before they start them. And I think the Ducks are so keen this season on starting off on the right foot. And because they've had slow starts, holy hell, for it seems like years now where they've had really, really bad, horrible starts to the season. And maybe that has something to do with why they closed training camp to the public. They want to focus. They don't want people there. This is not a show for everybody to come watch. This is, hey, we're trying to take this serious. We're trying to make sure we get things right for everybody. I'm just speculating. So that's the only thing I can think of. Because there's whole change in everything. They're changing style, changing coaches, changing players. Like this whole new wave.
There's no money. They can't get any money out of it. So I have to just be like, hey, if you really want to see them, it's not training camp. Come buy tickets for the exhibition games and buy beer and food and all that other stuff and pay for parking.
It would be cool if they
then you can see your team.
Camp, right?
Right.
Cool. Yeah, but not on YouTube. That way Ed can't see it.
Yeah. As long as Ed can't see it, I'm happy.
Oh, and sorry, I had a guest appearance from my kid who was bringing me breakfast. I'm like, you're probably in the camera screen. I don't think you want to be on.
It wasn't the guys from
I saw
Anaheim
you do
Ice
your
bringing
hand.
you food.
I was like,
just out of frame.
And then she looked at me and she's like, I'm bringing you breakfast.
I'm doing a podcast.
That's your food arriving from Great Park. 3 days ago.
Yeah, there it is. Right. Yes,
I got my breakfast burrito. Yeah, it's going to be cold in about 45, but I'm good. I'll stay.
Yeah.
Last 2 things on training camp, though. Lindholm and Manson together, which is a plus.
Yay, finally.
Should we even applaud it? Because it
seems like common sense.
Yeah.
You knew Bob Murray wanted it, and I'm sure Dallas Aikens can see that goes together. That's obvious. We don't really have to spend too much time on that. The only other one that some people really got upset or started speculating a lot about this one was Ondrej Kase wearing a yellow jersey, like he was going to get traded because he was wearing a yellow jersey. He's coming back from an injury, and thank God Eric Stevens cleared this up for a lot of people. But Murray had some quotes in Eric's latest article where he said the doctors are happy, but they're not worried, but they feel he just doesn't need contact quite yet. And he's sure that he's going to be playing in some exhibition games. They'll go from there, and he's done very well. But he's wearing a non-contact jersey. That's it.
Yeah.
It's not because he's going to get traded. He's wearing a non-contact jersey.
Oh, I'm sorry. Has he had 2 concussions and a torn labrum? I don't know. Maybe take it easy on the guy. There's no need to run him through anything that's rigorous right now if they don't need to.
Yeah,
they know what he
can
can do when he's healthy. They know what he could do when he's healthy. There's no need to do that.
Yeah.
Not worried about it at all, especially when you have a bunch of these kids trying to make the team, right? 34 wingers, and cool, I'm going to line up that guy. He's got my roster spot. You don't know. You don't want to put your guy at risk for that if he's not 100%. Maybe he's like 95. They're like, let's just wait. Who knows?
Yeah, abundance of caution for a delicate flower that is Kasha.
Well, can we talk about him right now, Ed, or do you want to wait?
Well, yeah, you know what? Okay. Well, one thing first, because we're talking about roster. Kesler and Eaves are out for the season. I think this was obvious, but it's now official. Bob Murray has made it official. They're out for the entire season. I don't think we're going to talk about that too much, but I think we all kind of knew this was coming anyway.
Kessler for sure. Eaves, I wasn't quite sure because that seems to be who knows what's going on with him. So it seemed that way, but like no news is bad news, I guess, at that point because there wasn't very much to update. And
and
it is what it is.
He's still dealing with the same issue, the same health issue that he's been dealing with for the last 2 or 3 seasons now. So tough for him. Tough for Ryan Kesler. I think Murray said they didn't want to comment if it was the end of the playing career for both of them. It's just kind of sad that he doesn't even know at this point, right? Like they don't even know. I'm sure Ryan Kesler doesn't know. It's sad for Patrick Eaves. This is likely how his time with the Ducks is going to come to an end because his contract expires at the end of this season. It sucks. I mean, he was good when the Ducks had him, and he would have been a nice addition to this team to play on a third line role. Obviously, right now, if he was healthy, it'd be kind of hard to fit him in with a lot of the young guys coming up. But you just feel for the guy, right? Like if this is how he has to end his career, it sucks to go out that way.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, not on your own terms, right? I mean, your body just breaks down before you expect it to. It sucks. Totally sucks for both those guys. And if you look on Twitter, my God, you have some ignorant people. Oh, way to hide money in the salary cap. I saw that tweet today, and I was like, Jesus Christ.
You don't even get the salary cap relief until you spend to the cap. Then you can go over. So we'd still, and this team's not poised for that. The kids are taking over. So even though, it's the salary cap relief on it, you don't get it until they spend about $8.5 million more, which they're not going to do because they don't want to take up any more spots that the kids are trying to fill at this point.
It's dumb. It's dumb.
All right, well, we can get back to Ondrej Kase and the Justin Faulk rumors.
I mean, they're beyond rumors. I mean, this shit's confirmed that it's being talked about. I mean, whatever. They're trying to convince Justin Faulk to move to Newport Beach. I mean, that's like the only thing that's in the way of this.
Yeah. Is it that or like I don't think he doesn't want to live in Anaheim. I think he wants to win a cup. I think and I don't think he thinks he can do it in Carolina. I'm pretty sure they want to get rid of him. I would argue Carolina probably has a better chance of winning the cup right now than the Ducks do in the short term and maybe even the long term with the players that they have in place there. Other than goaltending.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah. But it seems that they don't want him there, and he thinks that he can do better elsewhere. But if you want to win now, I don't think Anaheim is the place to come. I would love him as much as I would hate to lose Ondrej Kase. I think he's the exact
pause that thought real quick. I didn't ask you guys a question about this.
Okay,
pause that real fast.
Pause.
No, is this over?
Public stressed.
I am. I don't get Ducks fans here. Okay. We all love Ondrej Kase. We all love the kid.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
We all believe he'd be a 25 to 30 goal scorer. I think 30 is on the high end. I think 25 is probably a real solid place for him to land. I know that all the analytics came out. We talked about those early this summer about how he's a play driver, one of the best in the league. I think he was like top 2 in the league, or
I think it was behind Gallagher in
shots per 60.
Montreal.
5-on-5. He was just behind Brendan Gallagher, and
all the guys.
All the guys in that top 10 were 30, 40, 50 goal scorers.
Get it. So everyone is like falling in love with this guy for good reason. And Ducks fans are crazy, just like all the other teams. Us included, we get crazy about stuff too. We have a plethora of these young kids. We don't really know how they're all going to pan out. And we also are looking at Ondrej Kase wearing a yellow jersey to start training camp, which we all agree don't freak out about. It's totally fine. No one's worried about it. You want to talk about injury proneness? You want to talk about something? Maybe the Ducks staff. Who's the guy they just? I just thought of this. Who's the guy they just hired? To do the medical stuff. The guy Battle or Beetle.
Yeah.
They're all talking about health. They're all Rad. Maybe I should have known that before I blurted it out.
Yeah.
But they have all of this stuff working towards this season. He's a highly sought after player. Look at their defense, Ducks fans. Yeah. Like the Ducks defense,
especially the right side. It's the right side. Yeah.
Yes, it could really use a right shot defenseman. Could really use one, and he's not a 1-2. He's playing 1-2 in Carolina because they need him to. What's wrong with him being a 3-4 on the Ducks? I don't get it. I mean, I don't get it. Look after the top 4 in Anaheim.
He's a highly specialized 3-4, And he just so happens he's exactly the type of defenseman the Ducks have needed for a long time.
Oh, you mean a guy who can play on the power play?
Yeah, that's where he excels.
Just a guy who shoots the puck. I mean, he shots per 60 last year among defensemen. He was 7th. So that's
I don't get it. I don't get it. Oh, F this. I'm not gonna watch.
Yeah,
straight Ondrej Kase. I'm not gonna. It's like, holy hell, we're not trading, the farm for this guy. We're trading a player that we know is good, and we can get value back. And a value. And when you're in a position like the Ducks are, and everyone knows you need something, you can't get what you want for what you don't want to give up, or what you don't want, right? Like if they wanted to give away, hey, we're going to give you Nick Delorier. Can we have Justin Faulk? I was like, oh hell yeah, we'll do that. Let's sign off on that. No, that's not how it works.
Yeah, I'll just give you a 5th-round draft pick, and you give me your top 2 defensemen.
And we have this spare puck back from '97. Is that good? Like, I don't get it.
The thing that bothered me is people saying they would rather have Ristolainen over Justin Faulk. I assume because it's younger and maybe he carries a little bit more weight with his name, but arguably Justin Faulk is a better player. And then the Julius Honka rumors come out, or not even rumors, it's reported that he's asked for a trade out of Dallas, and people would say they'd rather get Julius Honka in instead of Justin Faulk. I get it in a depth role if you don't want to spend that much on Justin Faulk, but like this guy's a top defenseman in what he does, and putting up points, scoring goals, and generating shots. The Ducks have nobody on their blue line that can do that. When you look at shots per 60 last year, Justin Faulk was 7th. The highest Ducks defenseman was like 85th, and that was Brandon Montour, and he's not even a Duck anymore. And the next highest Duck, I think, was Josh Manson, who's outside the top 100. Like, this is the type of guy they need. They don't have a guy like this. They don't have a defenseman who shoots the puck as much as Justin Faulk does. They haven't, I guess, since Sammy Vatanen. I don't have his numbers on hand, but I would assume he was probably a higher volume shooter than Fowler, Lindholm, and Josh Manson. And even he wasn't in the same stratosphere that Justin Faulk is when you look at a top 10, top 5 defenseman in the league in those categories.
If you want to play the game of would you rather, I would have rather had Jake Gardner. Not going to happen.
Yeah.
I mean, the Ducks even tried for a Shattenkirk too. I mean, the Ducks tried to make their play where they could. This seems like the best option that does the right-handed defenseman, fills a top 4 role along Fowler, whoever you want to put him there, and is a power play specialist, something that we've desperately needed for a while. Kase, although good, dynamic, you're going to have to give up something that you like and that's really good. He is concussion and injury prone at this point. We have younger wingers that are coming up too that can kind of start to fill in some of those roles. So the uncertainty of what Kase can bring moving forward versus what you're getting in Faulk, and what you're filling 3 holes versus losing one that can be replaced, maybe not at the exact same level, but in time probably can be with some of the younger players in there. So I don't see the downside of that. We'd finally have a good top solid 4 defensemen.
We don't know what Brendan Gooley's going to be. We don't know what Gooley's going to be this season. We hope he's going to be great. He looked great in the, what are you playing, 8 games, 9 games,
but he's
maybe less.
4 as a ceiling. Like he's not what he doesn't bring. He brings what the Ducks already have in Lindholm and Fowler. Like he's a two-way guy who's fast. Like he is a good player for sure, but he's not
extremely fast.
The Ducks do not have anybody in the system or anywhere near close being what Justin Faulk could bring to this team. They have guys. I don't want to say who could do what Ondrej Kase can do, because Ondrej Kase, when you look at the underlying numbers, is a pretty special player, but he hasn't reached that yet because of injuries, and maybe he could have got that last year, but he only played 30 games last year. So maybe he comes back healthy this year, whether it's for the Ducks or the Hurricanes, and he plays 82 games and puts up 30, 40 goals and proves everybody wrong. But we don't know yet. And like Jason said, what you're getting in Justin Faulk, and it's exactly what the Ducks need. The problem is he has a 15-team no-trade clause, and he has to approve any team that isn't on that. I think he can submit the list of teams he wants to get traded to. Anybody who's not on that list, he has to approve it. And apparently the Ducks are not on that list, so he has to approve a trade to go to Anaheim. The Ducks want to sign an extension because he's an unrestricted free agent at the end of the year, which makes sense. He's 27. You want to lock him down. You don't want to give up Ondrej Kase for a rental.
No, yeah.
Give him a was it a 3x6, right?
Yeah.
3 years, $6 million apiece. Give him that. See how it goes. He's not locked in long term. It gives the Ducks time to bring these kids in. It also is, you're going to see Perry's money fall off after next year. Kesler's money fall off after next year. Eaves' money fall off after this year. There's going to be free money coming up for them to be able to add to this team. I'm pretty positive about going into this season and next especially. This season, I know we're not going to be amazing, but this is not a bad landing spot. Win now? No. There's definitely work to be done. But with John Gibson in net, I mean, shit, you can make a lot of things happen on this team. You really can. When you have the caliber of goaltending the Ducks have, a lot of things can change really quickly if you're able to fit the right pieces here.
I mean, it's possible. And listen, I understand why people would be upset about losing Ondrej Kase. I would definitely be upset to see him go and then succeed somewhere else. But you have to look at what the Ducks need right now. What do they need? More wingers? No. Do they have a surplus of wingers? Yes. They have a ton of them coming in. There's guys that aren't even here yet when you look at Braden Tracy and Benoit Olivier-Groulx, who will be knocking on the door in the next couple of years, who are going to need to take up roster spots because they do look like they're going to make the NHL at some point. You
forgot about Patrick Laine. I mean, he's coming here too, dude. You gotta remember that 21-year-old kid in Winnipeg is about to go to SC Bern and go play hockey, but I mean, he wants to be here.
Yeah. What was the trade for again? Or they didn't say. The one dude was just like, it's happening Tuesday. Mark my words. Cancel his Twitter account on Monday, right before Tuesday
Whoever
happens.
that guy was, man.
Oh my goodness.
Whoever that guy was, it was hilarious. I like how Eric Stevens had to come out and confirm it was crap.
Yeah, from the beginning. If you couldn't already tell. It's just, oh my goodness.
I mean, Laine is going to want $9 million, $10 million. The Ducks aren't going to be like, "Oh, we got you, bro. Don't worry."
Yeah.
Not to mention what it would cost to get a player like that. You know, Ducks fans are upset about losing Ondrej Kase, possibly for Justin Faulk. Imagine what it would cost to get Patrick Laine. If you want to just throw Kase into that mix, it could be Kase plus likely. You know, first round.
Or
pick
if they offer sheeted him, can you imagine? Like, bye-bye draft picks.
They'd give up so many draft picks that wouldn't work. No.
It's not going to work. What did Marner sign for yesterday? We got to do that on Pucks and Brews.
6 years, like 9.2 or something. Yeah, something weird.
Was Paul Marner happy? Does Paul Marner get like?
Oh, you mean Darren Dreger? Yeah, he was happy.
Well, he turned down like 7. He turned down 7 at 11, and he took a little bit less.
Darren Dreger's Twitter account is Paul Marner's burner account. Because Darren Dreger's been on the Mitch Marner train trying to get him a nice contract since the summer started. But
yeah,
I don't get. We'll get into this again on Pucks and Brews, but I don't get why you would turn down 3 years by 11, and then in 3 years be able to sign probably a $12 or $13 million contract, if not more, if you put up 90, 100 points per season, instead and go for a 6 by 10.8. I don't get it.
Yeah.
I don't know. This is apparently what Marner wanted, and the Leafs had to cave to it. The Leafs offered him 3 by 11. He turned it down, and now he wanted 6 years, and they said, okay, well, we'll give you 10.8, 9, or whatever for the 6 years. I don't get it. I have no idea why he would want to do that.
Maybe his dad needed some money or something like that. I was like, hey, I need you to make this amount for this amount.
It's front-loaded. It's front-loaded,
money.
So he's getting $61 million like this year.
Holy hell.
That's probably
I didn't look at the breakdown. Is it all signing bonuses?
Pretty much. It's like any contract nowadays.
It's going to become a Leafs podcast. Let's not do this. Let's
get
on track.
I just hope it doesn't turn into a Jack Johnson situation where Daddy takes all the money and screws him over.
So what do you guys think is going to happen? And let's wrap up this Ondrej Kase, Justin Faulk business. What do you think is going to happen here? Is this really going to transpire, or do you guys think this is all smoke? And
I think it's dead already. I think it would have already happened if it didn't. So, which I'm happy with. I mean,
but Murray didn't seem to be happy about it at all, right? I think that's what might have happened here is that they were talking and Dundon or somebody in the media heard with.
Yeah.
You think it was Tom Dundon?
Did you see the comments from Eric Stevens?
I didn't check those.
He had a quote in his article from Bob Murray where Bob Murray pretty much said it was Tom Dundon. I'll read the quote because I have it here. If you want to go read the full article, I think it's Eric Stevens' most recent article where he's talking about Ondrej Kase dealing with the rumors. He has a quote in here from Bob Murray that says, "The second part of that, which is a disturbing part for me, is when things are out there, when things haven't happened, and some owner or whatever decides he's going to garner some friendship with the media and he's going to get close to the media. He puts things out there. Some of these people, I wish they were players at one point in their life. Obviously, they weren't." Clearly, he's talking about Tom Dundon leaking, I guess, Ondrej Kase being part of the deal. He leaked to Hurricanes media because you notice how I think it was Elliot Friedman tweeted out that the Ducks are interested in Justin Faulk. Know who was involved or whatever. It's funny how the only reporters who had information on who was involved were Hurricanes beat reporters. Luke DeCock, I think, is a Hurricanes beat reporter in obviously in Carolina, and Sarah Sivian. Those were the only two who had information on Ondrej Kase being involved, and then more people started getting. I think David Pagnotta for the fourth period and others started getting word that Ondrej Kase was involved. But those were the first two, and they're Hurricanes reporters. Like, it seems pretty obvious that Tom Dundon leaked out that Ondrej Kase was part of the trade. I don't know why, but
I hate owners. I hate owners like that, where they want to like feel that they need to be involved, and somehow this is, they get to be, important enough that their name gets tossed around. It's like you never hear the Samuelis doing that. They just
he's
like
weird guy since he's come in though, right? Like remember when he first took over, he wants to be like heavily involved in all this stuff. Like he's not a hockey guy, but he wants to make himself a hockey guy. I don't understand him at all.
They've done really good though. Other than like this dumb move, like signing Jake Gardiner for that cheap was good. They had a really good draft. They got help from the Canadians, but they got Sebastian Aho onto a good deal. They've done well, but this is just like why leak this? Like what is the point of this unless you're trying to drum up more interest in Justin Faulk, right? Like this is what the Ducks were offering us. If you want to come talk to us, you got to offer us something like this. That's the only reason I would see him leaking it. I don't think it has anything to say about Justin Faulk. Specifically saying, hey, talking to his agent, saying leak this so I can try and get deals elsewhere. I think it's more of a Tom Dundon thing, saying, hey, we're getting only a couple trade offers here. We want to let people know he's available, so let's leak out what the Ducks are offering us for him. I think there's a chance it still gets done, right? But Justin Faulk has to agree to come here, and they have to agree to an extension, which takes some time. Whether it's 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 years, however long they want to sign Justin Faulk for, like. These type of deals take time, and the Ducks have to make sure they get it right. I think eventually Bob Murray signs or trades for a right-shot defenseman before the season starts. I think they desperately need one. I think he's looking for one. There are guys available. Justin Faulk's available. Honka's available. We already talked about him. There are guys out there they can go get. I just don't know if it's going to be Faulk right now.
But Dundon's weird. He did that weird thing where he didn't sign Sebastian Aho. Right, he let Waddell go interview for another vacant GM position, and then ends up locking up both guys, matching that weird offer from Montreal that we all knew wasn't gonna break the bank.
Yeah,
he's been a weird dude since he's taken over in that ownership group. I don't understand Tom Dundon. It's unfortunate though, because I would have liked to have seen what would have happened, and I think the Ducks need, like we said, top 4 guy.
Bunch of jerks.
Where do we want to go from here, boys? You guys want to do fan questions since we probably have people that have been waiting since Wednesday?
We have we plan to do a Pacific Division preview. Do we want to do it on this show, or do we want to do like a full-on show for?
Let's do a full-on show of that one. I think we should. Everyone here deserves a full show for that.
But I wrote everything down in purple.
Well, you can. It will still be there in purple.
It's just not the same anymore. Forget it.
He's gonna rip it up and start over.
Start all over. Just gonna eat the
light it on fire right in front of us. Fine, thanks guys.
Thanks.
Just light this
That's
up.
all my hard work.
Where do we go with questions, Ed? Do you have them ready?
They're way back. Well, we've rescheduled the show like 3 times, so now I gotta go find.
Oh yeah.
And some of these are
questions.
old now.
I'll fill the gap in case you guys haven't seen it.
Some of these are old. Ricky had originally asked us. He said, "What rookie line do you want to see in the showcase this weekend?" But then he said as well as in preseason and the season. So what rookie line would you want to see in preseason and season, or just like what line with rookies on it would you like to see most?
Go ahead, Jay.
I want to see Jones, Steele, and Comtois.
Damn it, dude! That's the exact
I want to see those. I know what Steele can do. He'd be the only one to be center. I don't know. Make Jones go over there. He can do both. He's dynamic enough.
Actually, the other one I would like to see, I think it'd be really interesting to see a Steele, Kasha, and Comtois line.
Yeah, if there's any way to get Zegras in there, I would love to see him and Comtois play. Yeah.
End of the year, we might if we're going all the way to the end of the year during the season. Then at the end of the year, if Trevor Zegras makes it over, then I would love to see Trevor Zegras play with Ondrej Kase if he's still here, and like Max Jones. I think Max Jones, Zegras, and Ondrej Kase would be a really fun line to watch.
That would be a really good one.
What about a Getzlaf, Delorier, and Devon Shoreline? I think it'd be very exciting to see that one.
That would, Yeah, put Holzer on there too.
Hey, what about you, man?
Sync.
What about you? Which kid lineup do you want to see?
Me?
Yeah.
Yeah, I agree with you. I really like Comtois Steele and Ondrej Kase. I think that would be a lot of fun to have. I think Troy Terry needs to be on a line with somebody with a bit more experience. Not to say he's not going to do well on a kid line. I just think he does better with an Adam Henrique or Ryan Getzlaff. I think that's a better spot for him to be in. I wouldn't mind seeing Kiefer Sherwood too on a line. So maybe like a Max Jones, Kiefer Sherwood, Isaac Lindstrom eventually. Like if we see Isaac Lindstrom get called up at some point this year, I think that'd be a really fun energy line to watch because those are all three guys who are very good two-way players and play with a lot of energy. So I think that'd be a fun line to watch too.
Do you guys think that? Sorry, Jay. Do you guys think that Sherwood's going to be Cogliano 2.0 but better?
No, because I think that there was always that peg on Cogliano of being part of that shutdown line, that he had a ton of speed and you would think he had the hands to kind of finish the play. I think Sherwood's probably got. I think his ceiling's third or fourth line, and it's more energy, it's more making hits. It's not necessarily being on the second line and shutting down the opponent's top line.
I think he's got more skill, though. I think he's got more.
I think he's got more finishing touch for sure.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it's not much when you're talking about Cogs because he's struggled mightily. He's had so many chances, he just never to put those in. But
yeah, like last year in the playoffs, I mean, he had that break and missed, and
it was like
in overtime.
Classic. But yeah, so no, I don't see them as kind of the same. I think they're different. They both have speed and tenacity, and they're both responsible defensively. It's just, I don't know, I see two different players there.
It'd be interesting to see if we do get Isaac Lindstrom up at some point this year. I would think we would, but I don't know. I think it would have to be injuries, right? Because you don't want him playing on the fourth line, and it's going to be Getzlaff, Henrique, and Steele all year.
All right, what do we got next?
All right, Garrett said, what's more likely for the Ducks, 75 points or 95 points?
Oh, man, way to pick the trash can in the ceiling there. That's like...
They had 80 last year.
95 is a bubble. It's.
I think they're more likely to go. This is my opinion. I think they're more likely to go up. Our biggest problem last year was goal scoring. I think that gets solved in a big way. I mean, losing to Corey Perry isn't going to hurt us as far as offense goes. As long as everyone can be a little bit healthier, younger kids coming in that want to score, know how to play, speed game. It's kind of tailored a little bit more to the younger guys. And I think the new coach and the new direction, the new offense, I think we solve our biggest problem. I think our defensive style is going to change. So even the decent enough defense and goaltending, I think will just get a little bit better. So I can see us making up from our 80 points from last year, going up to 90, 95 versus sliding back down 5 points. I don't see us falling backwards on this.
Man, I know. So, what are they more likely to hit 75 or more likely to hit 95? Right? Was that the question?
Yeah, so it's 5 points back or 15 points forward.
Oof, damn it, dude.
If you said 90 points, I would definitely say 90 points. I think we can make up 10 points.
I think they're going to do better than we all think they are. I think this is going to be closer to a 95-point team than they would be a 75-point team. Yeah, why am I being so positive, guys? I don't understand.
Don't know. You started off. You're all over the place.
There's no way. It's like 75 is like bottom 2, bottom 3 likely in the league.
They're not going to be as bad as the Kings. Let's just put it that way.
They're not going to be worse than they were last year, I don't think. I think they'll do something on the right side of the defense. Like I said, I think something's going to get done there, whether it's Faulk or a smaller addition, we'll have to see. But I think with the new coach and everything, I think they probably hit 88, 89, so closer to 95 than 75. I think 95 obviously is a stretch, but they have the potential, if everything goes right, to get to like 95. There's a chance. Keep
in mind that 90 points got you into a playoff spot last year in the West.
Yeah, do you want them to make the playoffs, though? I mean, who knows?
We'll get into it in our Pacific Division preview, but
I want them to.
The Pacific looks kind of weak this year.
Yeah, breaking news. Jared Spurgeon just signed a deal, boys. 7 years, $53 million. Pretty nice for that guy.
Chump change.
That's over 7, right? That's like 7.
Yeah, 7.5. Yeah.
Oof, he signed for more than Provorov and Werenski.
Yeah, we'll probably start seeing a lot of those contracts start to come down now since Marner signed. That was like everyone was just waiting for that to happen. So Matthew Tkachuk will probably be another one coming soon that you'll hear about.
Well, the big one is the one in Colorado.
I don't know.
yeah,
There's
Rantanen.
Line Point still has to get signed. Matthew Tkachuk.
Rantanen, though, has got to be the one that everyone's looking at. I would love to see where that guy's going to go. The guy is just a beast. He's a beast. Big kid, puts up ridiculous points. I think he's going to get a monster deal too.
I think he's coming to Anaheim.
Yeah.
I read a tweet by some guy, but he canceled that tweet.
We should create a burner account and just start putting out rumors.
It'll be so much fun.
All right, what do we got next?
Garrett had another question. He said, "Who's going to represent the Ducks at the All-Star game this season?"
John Gibson.
Gibby.
Yeah, he also said kind of want Gibson to skip it and rest. So
I think he'll be better. I think this season will be better for him because I don't think they're going to have to rely on him so heavily. Miller can do it, and I think defensive style should be a lot better for him. So I don't think you're going to have a tired John Gibson going into the All-Star break and then getting lit up and then coming out still tired and still having to work his butt off. So,
boys, yeah. I think it might be two players. I think you're really going to see Rickard Rakell have a hell of a year this year. I think he's going to bounce back. He started to look good at the end of last season. I think he's going to – I don't think he's going to be able to produce enough to go to the All-Star game, but I think it might be Rakell and Gibson that'll be there.
Yeah, that's what I think. It's going to be Rakell and Gibson. I think those are the two guys who are the best shot. That barring a complete resurgence from Ryan Getzlaf, I think.
Or Justin Faulk. He might make it too.
Yeah, if he comes over. But John Gibson is easily, I think, the number one candidate when you look at Pacific Division goaltending right now. The fact that it's Martin Jones, Marc-Andre Fleury, Jonathan Quick, Antti Ranta, and whoever Vancouver wants to throw over the boards. And you've got, Mike Smith. Mike Smith is now in Edmonton. You've got Cam Talbot now in Calgary.
I just threw up if I'm a Canadian fan.
Yeah, there's two goalies from the Pacific who go, I think, 2 or 3. Is it 2? It's 2, right?
I think it's 2, yeah.
So John Gibson is pretty much a lock unless he has a bad start to the season.
And probably Fleury, so same last year.
Fleury, yeah. Or Jones if he decides to learn how to play hockey this year in San Jose.
I want to pull up the schedule for this next question because I think it all depends on who the Ducks play in their first 10 games. But Garrett asked, how many points will the Ducks have after their first 10 games? I'll read off the 10 teams they play. They play Arizona, San Jose, Detroit, Pittsburgh, Columbus, Boston, Buffalo, Carolina, Calgary, and then finish with Nashville.
I'm going to say they have 12 points. 12 points.
Yeah, I would put them, just over 500. I'd probably say like a 5-4-1, so maybe 11, 12 points somewhere in there. I mean, because that's going to be hard. Your Nashville is going to be difficult. San Jose is going to be difficult. Ducks are notoriously slow out of the gate. Arizona's looking to make a big impact. They're our first game, so you can see a few losses in there. Boston's never an easy one for us. So my next question, are we home a lot in those 10 games, or are we on the road a lot?
They are.
The Ducks open the season at home, right?
Yeah.
Home for 5 and away for 5.
Oh, excellent. I think they're a 500 team at that point. Like Jay said, 5-4-1. I could see him be 5-5. I could see him be,
I think they're
6-3-1.
I think they take some of these games on the road to overtime. So I think they're like 5-2-3. So I think they finish around like 13, 14 points, which isn't bad.
Yeah,
that's a really good start. Are you insane?
It'll be 6-2-2 is what Garrett thought they'd be.
Very optimistic.
That's pretty optimistic. Yeah, I have to see how everyone kind of forms.
I hope he's right.
Yeah, me too. Yeah, the more points, the better.
Alex asks, where do you think the organization expects to finish in the standings? What expectations will Bob Murray communicate to the team? And then he kept saying, what do the fans expect? What would be unacceptable for them? Or would a bottom 5 finish be acceptable for a draft pick? So where do you think the organization expects the Ducks to finish? Not where do you think they'll finish, where do you think the organization expects them to finish?
That's a tough one, man.
Yeah, if you're talking,
playoffs, I feel like
I think that they think they can take advantage of maybe the weak division and maybe kind of get in. I don't think that they're going to be fighting for the top spot. That's pretty locked in with the Vegas team and San Jose team, in my opinion. But the other ones, there's a couple of spots that they can get in there, and I think they want to be better than last year. And if they can be a decent amount better, then playoffs are now the possibility. So I feel that they're looking for playoffs. They can't keep missing playoffs. It doesn't work in Anaheim or Southern California. If you're not making playoffs, you're becoming less and less relevant.
Not when you spend $100+ million on a new facility and you're swapping out faces here to make the team better. I think they expect the playoffs. I don't think they expect a dominant performance for sure, but they expect it to be probably 10 to 15 points better in the standings. I really think they do. I really, really think they do, and I think that it goes to show that they understand they have injury issues. They bring in somebody, a nutritional and physical expert to help out the athletes here. They look at John Gibson like, okay, you're our best player far and away on this team. We need to make sure we support you and that we help you and we don't kill you in the first 4 months of the season and then you fall apart. Like, that's just not fair to your best player. And I think that their best interest right now is to try to be a competitive team in this market. Like Jay said, you can't go 3 seasons, 2 seasons, and just lose here. I mean, you and I have been to Honda Center back in the late 90s, early 2000s. There was like 9,000 people in the crowd. Yeah. It's just like there's nobody here. It looked like a Florida game.
Yeah,
like, you can't have that anymore. You just can't. It's hard to get fans back. So I'm saying they're going to be probably 10 to 15 points better. 10 points better for.
He said what would be unacceptable for them. I think finishing worse or on par with what they did last year is unacceptable. I think if they just miss out the playoffs, that's all right.
That's fine.
But if they are the same or worse last year, like I think if you finish anywhere 85 or less points this year, I think that's unacceptable for them.
I was going to say 85 was my limit too.
You got to be above that.
Be above 85.
Yeah. As long as they improve. If they stay pat and go back, or go backwards, then that's a loss because they've done a lot of things to try and make sure that last season was just last season and we're on to improving in some way. So there's no improvement. That's where it's a failed season.
I'm Decision on The Athletic said the Ducks will finish with 88.5. I think that's what they're projected to be, about 88, 89 points. Makes sense. That's kind of where I have 80 to 90 points. Yeah.
I think they could do a little bit higher. My thought.
What's next?
Chris said, is Dallas Eakins really secretly the Bo Porter of the Ducks, propped up and presented to fans, poised for a complete overhaul type of rebuild over the next 3 years? Will the next coach be the one who actually wins a championship? I don't know who Bo Porter is.
I don't either. I'm not sure. I don't know.
Is that a football? I'm going to look it up.
Maybe it's a soccer coach. Chris likes soccer, so. Oh, sorry, football, Ed.
MLB. I think he's like
he's also a coach who was the most recently a special assistant to the GM. I guess. I don't know. His win-loss record was not good. 110 to 190, managed 300 games.
So basically, is Eakins the go-between for right now? Is he the plug until the next real coach comes, I guess is the question. No, I think Eakins deserves his shot, and I think they believe he can do it. They're moving a lot of their younger players up. Why not do it with the coach that helped make them all successful and made the minor league teams successful? I think you can't look at what he did in Edmonton and try and compare it to the situation he's in now. So from what I'm gathering, he's a complete change from what Carlisle was, and that's something the Ducks desperately need. So.
Yep. I don't think it's going to be a bad choice here. This is a solid choice. We all talked about this.
Yeah. I don't know.
Derek said, who will be our highest point producer this year?
Oh, that's going to be...
Kase if he's healthy.
Ricard Raquel.
Kase? Wow.
I'm going Ricard Raquel.
Yeah.
I think Ricard Raquel gets 65 points, 70 points this season.
Yeah, I think Ricard Raquel. Maybe Ryan Getzlaf. But I think Ricard Raquel bounces back, and if he's not playing with Getzlaf, so it's not like they're gonna compliment each other. It's gonna be one of those two guys. I can't see Kase getting enough points.
Kase's more goal scoring.
Like if he scores 30, he probably has like 20 assists. He's probably a 50-point guy, 55-point guy. But I could see Raquel or Getzlaf getting 60 or 70.
I'll go Silverberg. I'll go Silverberg on that
Laurier.
one. Yeah, right. Holzer again. No, I could see Silverberg. I know you guys aren't big on him, but I think he's been stymied most of his career with the Ducks in having to be a shutdown winger. Mm-hmm. Even though he is a traditional two-way, he has an amazing shot. And once we got out of the Carlisle system and we got into Bob Murray coaching, he took
tearing it up.
He teared it up, got over 20 goals when it didn't look like we were going to get anybody to do that. And he felt more comfortable. He looked a lot more dangerous out there than he had before because I think the style helped facilitate that. So I'm expecting bigger things from him as well. And if he's playing on the top line, somewhere in there. I think he can get fed a lot, but I think he can also, make passes and bring up that assist as well. I don't think he had the wings or Kesler before to really kind of help up his assists or even help him get goals. So,
dark horse, I think Sam Steele. I think playing with
That's a real dark
Silfverberg,
one.
playing with Silfverberg and Raquel, that maybe, right? If he gets power play time, if he starts playing well, if he pushes up,
If he makes the squad
lineup.
out of camp and he stays in this lineup,
like you said,
possibility.
we don't know who's first, second, third line. If Raquel, Steele, and Silfverberg are playing 20 minutes a night, they're playing more minutes than anybody else. If he finds his way under the first power play unit after the first few months of the season, stays healthy all year, there's a chance. Again, he's a dark horse, so it more than likely finishes 30, 40, 50 points on the highest level for him this year. But dark horse candidate, if everything goes well, if that line stays together and plays really well, there's a chance that he could be up there with Raquel and Silfverberg.
I think he's probably going to be around 50 points if he plays a full season.
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah,
and then
he's got that
obviously
potential for
if things go very well, he could be up in the area we say Rickard Raquel's going to be. That's a stretch for sure. 60 or 70 is a stretch, but
That's a big stretch. Yeah,
but that's why he's a dark horse, right? So maybe.
Say dark horse one more time.
dark horse.
Dark horse.
Ace Platinum had not really a question, but he had a thing in his.
Is that a real
he said-
name?
He said, if I had to guess your names, ages, and jobs, he said top left. So, Jason, that's you. He said your
me.
name is Chris, 29, and an ice cream scooper who studies football management at college.
Okay. Close.
Why are
I
you
work
still
at-
in college at 29, bro? I don't understand.
Yeah, I don't know. I guess I'm dumb, but I do like ice cream, so.
Top right, which is me. My name is Jay.
Hey, Jay.
And 25 and a water slide supervisor who just says, "Yep, next person who studies nightclub
Great
management."
job. Great job.
How old are you?
25.
You almost
25.
nailed it on that.
You got you. Yeah, he almost got you on that one.
And then bottom person, that's you, Pat. You're
Yeah.
Samuel. He didn't give a lot of information on you. He did you quick. You're Samuel, 28, and you're just a comic book store manager. That's it.
That's a pretty good job. And I wish I was 20, and I turned 36 in 2 months.
Yeah, I'm the oldest one.
Yeah.
I'm 29. 29 forever.
All right, let's get back to the Ducks. Mark on Twitter, he asked us, will any more moves be made before the start of the season?
Ooh,
Probably.
I don't. Shoot.
I think they might.
So. I don't think it's going to happen. I think you'll see something before Thanksgiving. I don't think you'll see something now.
It depends on training camp. I think Bob Murray knows that getting out of the gate's going to be important, and if he's looking at this and it doesn't seem like it's working, quite honestly, it's not the forwards. I mean, the forwards, he's pretty much said, listen, we're going with the young kids at this point. But I know he's dying to do something on that defense, and he even said it when we went to breakfast with Bobby. He said, he wanted a point guy that was a right-handed shot defenseman. So he's probably going to try very hard to get it. Now, obviously, he's not going to be in charge of all of it. He's going to be, the dance partner and what they want out of it. So he's not going to do anything that's going to put us in a bad spot, but I think he really wants to go into the season with his roster. I don't think he wants to try and wait and see if things work out down the road. I think he's got a good idea of what he's going to get, and I thought he got a really good look at what he had when he went behind the bench at the end of last season. So I think he's got a clear idea of what he wants.
Yeah, but he can't have a partner that kisses and tells like Tom Dundon.
Yeah, all right.
You got to find someone
Loose
who
lips.
keeps the love a
Loose
secret
lips.
here. You got to figure this out. Got to see where the relationship goes. You start blurting it out, Tom.
Yeah.
Jeez.
Yeah, we're dating.
We got a thing.
Damn
we
it.
got a thing here.
Shut up. It's on Facebook.
Tom.
On Facebook before you can tell anyone.
The last question was from Matthew. The Faulk news, not to Anaheim, but the original Faulk news that Elliot Friedman tweeted out, he said that when Gardner signed, he said that Justin Faulk could be available. On the day after, Matthew said, with Gardner signing with Carolina, could Faulk be an option for the Ducks blue line?
That's
Said that,
pretty good.
and then
No.
I think 4 days after that or something, the rumor came out that the Ducks were involved in Justin Faulk. We covered that, and it's not really a question. I just wanted to bring that up, that he actually.
Yeah, give him a shout out for that, man. He was like, I
Yeah.
think that's a good possibility.
Yeah.
Thanks, Tom Dundon, for ruining the opportunity for us to
Yeah.
see what it would be like here.
Yeah, exactly.
But I
Well-
think that's it. We just have the Pacific Division preview, but we're saving that for a different show, full show.
Let's do that. Yeah, we should make that a public show. We won't make it Patreon. That's not fair. We'll do a full public Pacific Division preview. That'll be good.
Ooh, we'll be fine.
do
Fully
you guys
reveal it.
have anything you want to chat about? I kind of flashed these earlier. Some vinyl stickers. They will be at every watch party we do this season to give away. We want to give them out. They can go on your car. They'll survive the rain. We got vinyl for a reason. We didn't get cheap stickers. And they're all going to our Patreon members first. We need to figure out another meetup for that. If you're a Patreon member and you haven't gotten your hat, please DM us because we would love to send it to you or give it to you. So yeah, let us know if you haven't gotten a hat. There's a couple of you out there.
So pretty.
And we need to put another order in for those because we need to get those back on the website. That last one has not sold. So we need to
There's one left.
Everyone wants the the snapbacks. Everyone wants the snaps. So we gotta get those back. That's what it seems like.
Oh.
You guys got anything else you want to add? Pucks and Brew show next weekend. That's for our top Patreon members. That'll be fun.
Yeah. Do we have any new Patreon members that we want to give a shout out, or wasn't there? Yeah.
Chad was the newest one, and
Okay.
we did give him a
We
shout
did
out
was
last.
on the last one. Yeah.
I need to get him a hat, stickers and stuff too.
Yeah.
So.
Other than that, we have the Pucks and Brews, and then we have another Patreon bonus show that goes out before the end of the month, and then we have our. I think this is a new addition to our Patreon, the Bobby's Bargain Bin game show. So that actually is live for everybody to come watch, but only only people on Patreon actually can participate in it. So it's just a game show contest. We pick whatever game, we haven't decided yet. It's different every month, and then we end up giving away signed merchandise from one of Bob Murray's bargain bin specials to the winner, and then we have a grand prize at the end of the season. We're still working out all the little details for that one, but that one actually is live for everybody to come see. We'll tweet that out on Twitter so you can come watch it. But like I said, if you want to actually participate in it and win any of the merchandise we give away, that's reserved for Patrons only.
Well, I think Chris Smith already invented one of the games. Like, we'll just take random people's names who are in sports and then make you wonder or guess which sport they're involved in. Is this a hockey player or not? And if not, who is this person?
I would lose every time.
Would you like, oh, Dick Cheney? Jason's like, yeah, he's definitely
Yeah. No, golfer, right? Yeah, or a gun enthusiast.
You gotta pick ones that aren't popular because you gotta pick like the weird ones. Any Russian name, it's hockey.
Yeah. Or now they could be tennis.
Yeah, you could do that. You could do that too.
True.
Does bowling count as a sport?
And remember, the prizes on Bobby's Bargain Bin are going to be really good because
they
they're
are very
players that
bargain.
you love. Very good.
Very bargain. They got
But
a nice deal.
If you're a Patreon member and everyone's going to be able to cycle through and do that, at the end, there's going to be a pretty bitch of prize at the end if you have the most wins throughout the season. So we're putting this together. It'll come together before the end of the month. We'll definitely have one of those here before September's over, which we have, 2 weeks? So we got to get on that. Season's here, boys. Hockey's back.
And more anxiety.
You guys want to toss anything into the show before we head out, or should we call it a day?
I think that's
I think we're good.
Cool. Well, hey, everybody, thanks for tuning in on the show today. Sorry for the reschedules. It's nothing we could really do with the internet, but I think this turned out great. We all got to be on the show today. And sorry it was Sunday morning, but that's just kind of the way it goes.
Saturday.
Is it Saturday? Why did I think it was Sunday? It is Saturday morning. I'm so happy now. I thought tomorrow was...
Another day before
made
work.
my day. And I was like, I'm going to go see Iron Maiden tonight with Patreon member Jimmy. So I'm going to do that.
So you don't have to go back to your comic book job tomorrow.
I know.
Monday.
So good. Comic book stores closed on Sunday.
On Sundays, Jesus Day.
Stay up to date with us on Twitter. Go to our website, forevermighty.com. There'll be updates there too. Check out our Patreon feed. That's everywhere as well. Check out the prizes. I think we really revamped it this year to give back even more to the people who support us financially like that. We can't tell you guys how much we appreciate it. But we also appreciate all those who can't. Just tuning in helps us out, spreads the word. Leave a review, please. Like, subscribe on our channels. That also helps spread the word there. And we'll talk to you guys soon. Stay updated this week, and we'll see you next weekend maybe.
Bye, guys.